All right, so thank you for tuning in to Chop at the Bit. I'm Kyle Litters, of course. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl as it happened this past Sunday. We're going to look at the game, talk about the halftime show, talk about commercials, and talk about it all. Talk about the whole experience. Then that way, we close the book on the season and just move on. I mean, the extra game this year and all that, the season still seemed to move by pretty quickly. So now, no NFL until August when we get preseason. I mean, they have training camp and stuff in between that, but, until we actually see them on the field, playing. Even preseason doesn't really count as, real football, but at least get you back into the mood. So, got a couple months with no NFL. We'll have to see how the USFL does. If that does well, then get your football fixed there in between. But like I said, go ahead, take a look at this Super Bowl. As it was like most of the playoffs have been. It was a good game, real competitive, came down to the end. And isn't that really all you really want with a Super Bowl? For it to be competitive? So, for me, it was, great to watch. The Rams getting the win was fine. I know I picked the Bengals, which I did get them covering. I got that part right, but they fell a little short. But let's go ahead, take a look at what happened, and then, close the book on the 2021-22 NFL season. So the game got started. Rams took the momentum early. They scored about a little past halfway through the first quarter. They drive down the field, and Odell Beckham gets free, catches up with a 17-yard pass, and it looked like the Rams were off and running at that point because the Bengals had struggled earlier in the quarter with the ball. Didn't really show, any production, I guess I'll say, offensively. So right now, after the Beckham score, Rams look like they're going to run away with this one. To end the first quarter, the Bengals to get a field goal, which made you feel like at that point maybe the Bengals will calm down a little bit, get back to their type of football, and make a game out of it. But then the second quarter, the Rams come out again. They score 13-3 with Cooper Kupp. So right there, the Rams get their scoring from Beckham and Kupp. And Beckham, we know, didn't finish the game. It looked, I wouldn't say serious, but it looked worrisome because all you saw was him going across the middle, pass coming towards him, and like he took a step, almost like he kind of extended his leg too far, taking the step. And he automatically knew it because he, reached for his knee before really even catching the ball, which he didn't catch it. But then, he goes down holding the knee. And the first thing I thought was, was it the knee that he, had hurt? Was it last year? Or maybe the year before? So, obviously that was the thought. I mean, he was on the sideline for the rest of the game, so. But I mean, it is a Super Bowl, so you're not going to really just stay in the back and miss being out there on the field, celebrating with everybody. But we'll have to see, I guess, over the offseason what becomes of the knee injury. So with that, you knew that the Bengals defensively could now focus more on Kupp. Should make their job easier. So then we see the Bengals, make a little comeback. They get the two next scores and make it 17-13. Both touchdown passes to T. Higgins. The second one was the controversial one, which was the very first play out of halftime. The Rams got some pressure on Burrow. Burrow stepped up in the pocket, let it go down the left sideline to Higgins, who went up, caught it, ran into the end zone. But when they showed the replay, you could see that Higgins, on his way up, grabbed Jalen Ramsey's face mask and pulled him back, which then gave Higgins the room to make the catch and go down the sideline untouched. So once that play happened, it looked like the Cinderella story for the Bengals was going to continue through the Super Bowl, and they may actually pull it off and win the whole thing. They added a field goal on top of that to go up 20-13. Unfortunately, that would be the end of the scoring for the Bengals because, Gay got a field goal 20-16. In the fourth quarter, there was just one scoring drive, which was by the Rams, which capped off with another touchdown pass. Touchdown reception, so his second of the day. But what we saw, especially in the fourth quarter, was, if you remember, I said the biggest key when the Bengals had the ball is the offensive line. For the most part, the offensive line was fine. But as the game went on, the Rams, slowly beat that offensive line down to the point where in the fourth quarter, it was basically a jailbreak. Aaron Donald kept getting into Burrow's face. At one point, Burrow got hit. He grabbed a knee. And this was after Stafford ended up grabbing his lower leg on a hit. So both quarterbacks were a little bit hobbled. Luckily both of them got to finish out the game. Last thing we would have wanted was a battle of backups in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter with the game on the line. But it definitely seemed like Burrow was affected by it because he kind of went to more of a short passing game after it. There was a couple of key plays on a third down around, I think, midfield. They ran a draw play basically from shotgun, got stuffed, went for it on fourth, and then ran another thing up the middle, run out of shotgun, which questionable play calls definitely because you only need a yard. They only needed like a yard and a half. Why run out of shotgun both downs? And then especially on the fourth down play with no Joe Mixon in the game, who is your lead back, why do that? So that's definitely a questionable sequence there, and even more questionable now that the Bengals have lost the game. But what we saw was, yes, Stafford gets his first ring, but he wasn't really that dynamic in this game. He had some missed throws, couple of picks. Now, the first one wasn't really his fault. It was a throw over the middle. I think it was Skoranek had to go through his hand. No, not Skoranek. Might have been Skoranek. Was it Jefferson? Might have been Jefferson. Either way, one of them was going across the middle. Stafford put it on their hands. They bobbled it, went through their hands, and it got picked off that way. So the first one, don't really put on Stafford. Second one, yeah, because they were driving, possibly looking at getting maybe a field goal, I think at the end of the first half. But Stafford, for some reason, extended the play out and just threw it up into the end zone. A couple of Bengal players there, and it was picked off. So I also thought when that play happened that was going to be the turning point, because usually at the end of half you don't want to just throw almost a Hail Mary when unnecessary, because in those situations, you get a field goal, you're doing okay because you just want to get points going into the half to come out with some more momentum. But like I said, the heroes for the first half were, well, I guess for the Rams since they won, Cooper Kupp saved them in the first half once Beckham went down, because they did struggle a little bit after the Beckham injury, but then it seemed like Stafford in the play calling put a big focus on Cooper Kupp. He delivered for them. He was getting open with the extra attention. With the second half, Aaron Donald was a big boost for this Rams team. Because like I said, he started creating serious havoc on Burrow, and even in the run game, whenever the Bengals did try that really turned the tide in the fourth quarter. So like I said, the Rams won it 23-20. Matt Stafford gets his first ring. Aaron Donald gets his first ring, and we saw Aaron Donald's emotion on the field after his fourth down stop to seal the game, where he got pressure on Burrow, got a hit on him, spun Burrow around, and Burrow kind of just threw a pass over his shoulder, trying to get it up to Pirine, but it was short. So turnover and downs, kneel, win. Aaron Donald's running around pointing at his finger, telling him, ring me or whatever. So now the questions are, well, one, does Aaron Donald now walk away? Because I guess it seemed like it was like last week or so that we started hearing some talk about Donald possibly retiring if they win. And like I said, if he does, that's cool, because Aaron Donald's already seen as a top defensive player from this generation here, or this era, or whatever, this decade. I guess previous decade. But the only thing he was missing was that ring. So he got the ring, and now that kind of cements him in history of the most destructive defensive lineman, best defensive lineman, all that. Donald is somewhere in that conversation now. For Stafford, like I said, his performance wasn't that great, so I guess it does a little bit for his legacy, but I would have liked to have seen him put on a performance that would make you really go, okay, so that's the guy who maybe we were underestimating a little bit. But like I said, he was fine in this game. For the Bengals, great season for them. Not a lot of expectations coming into the year. I believe they were picked to finish last in the North. They end up winning the division, going into the playoffs. It was, don't know about the Raiders game. They beat the Raiders. Get to the Titans. Okay, this is where it ends, because the Titans are so good. Beat them. AFC title game against the Chiefs, and then it was really, about, well, we know the Chiefs will get it done because Mahomes, Reed, no brainer. Burrow on that team go into whatever they've called it now, Chiefs Stadium, beat up on the team that was like the consensus Super Bowl favorite, and then yes, they fell short in the Super Bowl, but all in all, great year, great stepping stone year for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow came into his own, and now they can go into next year. I'm hoping that they focus offensive line in either free agency or the draft, because the fourth quarter, especially, the offensive line let down Burrow several times, and he took hits that weren't necessary, and so it does bring up, well, not really brings up a question, but how Marvel did their what if series. It brings up an interesting what if with this Bengals team. What if they didn't take Chase in the top 10 in the first round and went with the lineman I guess who was available at that point. I can't remember if Sewell was available, but Slater was available. So would they have done better if they had one of those guys on the line, and then maybe, well, you wouldn't have Chase, so I guess your top duo would be Boyd and Higgins. I don't know. We'll never know. But, yeah, great season by both teams. Have to see what they do in the offseason because, like I said, the Bengals can, patch up the offensive line. Maybe they can make another run next year. For the Rams, we'll see because remember they did go all in for this year, which means they got to make some serious free agent decisions and seeing about who to re-sign and who not. So, yeah, these are two teams that I guess are worth watching in the offseason to see what they do to their rosters. But like I said, I got the pick against the cover. The Bengals did cover. So I think for the playoffs, I ended up 7-6 against the spread. I did pick the Bengals to win outright, lost that. So I think I went 6-7 straight up, but 7-6 against the spread. What else? Oh yeah, so Cooper Kupp was named MVP, and I guess the only other player you could think about was Donald, but I had no problem with them giving it to Kupp, not at all. Yeah, so shout out to Cooper Kupp. If you, like me, had him in your fantasy team, then you really liked him this year. So I wonder what Kupp will look like next year, how defenses go against him. Will there be a drop in his numbers? Blah, blah, blah. But he's an exciting player to watch. With defenses understanding he's Stafford's go-to guy, he still finds a way to get catches and yards. And possibly let's see. Well, yeah, be interesting to see where maybe Kupp ranks in the hierarchy of wide receivers in the game today. I think after this season, it's no-brainer top 10. I think you could put him top 5. Would I put him as the best receiver in the league? Yeah, I don't know. I would listen to an argument about it, but I don't know if he is. But yeah, he's definitely one of the better ones in the league today. But like I said, with that's what happened on the field. But with Super Bowl Sunday, there's more to it than that. So let me talk about the halftime show really quickly. Now, when we first heard the announcement about who was going to perform the halftime show, I was really amped about it because, big fan of Kendrick Lamar. We all know Mary J is Mary J. But then you add on Eminem, Snoop, Dre, and my expectations were already maybe way too high, but we're way up there. I thought the show was great. Seeing 50 come out, well, not really come out, but he was hanging upside down at first, but, he didn't take away from the show or anything like that. I thought it was, like I said, it was good. It's good hearing some of the songs they did. I thought Lamar's performance of all right, probably the best of the show, but maybe I'm biased because, like I said, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. And all in all, I'd probably go, I don't know, maybe it's recency bias. I'd say 10 out of 10 for it. Enjoyed it all. could not think of one thing I didn't like about the show. I know that there was some stuff, social media, whatever. Not everybody was a fan of it, but those people were clearly wrong. But yeah, it was entertaining. It was just all around great. So of course, now you gotta wonder, who do they get next year to now follow that up? Was it next year's in Phoenix? So I don't know where they'll go. I mean, we're trying to think, when do they make the announcement? I feel like we don't get an announcement until like end of the year, like around Christmas or something. They kind of put an announcement out there. I don't know, but I don't even know who to think about as a performer right now. But it's definitely a halftime show that, periodically I will probably go to YouTube and watch it again. So you can let me know what you think, or what you thought about the halftime show as well as the game. But like I said, for the game, entertaining, close, came down to the end. I was unfortunate that Burrow and Stafford were hobbled, but really well played game. I thought the game was probably like a 8 out of 10. Super Bowl 10 out of 10. And then last aspect was the commercials. This year there's a big focus on like electric vehicles and Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff, which I guess makes sense because that's like the future, but it's kind of here now. So with all the car makers making big strides in the electric vehicle market, it only made sense that they would use this time to market that, because we saw like Ford, I think it was Ford, it was like they were going to be, that they would have like an electric fleet ready by 2025, I think. And I think like even other companies are trying to do it a little faster, maybe like 2024. So yeah, I think it was perfect time for that. Saw a lot of movie trailers. I know we saw a trailer for, I think it was Doctor Strange. Definitely interested in that. Saw a trailer for Nope by Jordan Peele. Hey, Jordan Peele directs it. I'm interested, so definitely interested in that. But Adam Project, interested in that. So yeah, there's a few interesting movie trailers. I like the Larry David commercial, which I'm kind of drawing a blank on what the actual product was for, but he was going through like different periods in time and kind of being the skeptic, and then fast forward to the present day and he's never wrong about anything. I thought that was a good commercial. I know the Doritos Flamin' Hot commercial, the animals in the woods, I thought that was entertaining. So commercial wise, I'd probably give it a 7 on the commercial. 7 out of 10. Once again, you can let me know what you thought about commercials. Let me know what was your favorite commercial of the day. There was that Jones commercial. It's like Tommy Lee Jones, Leslie Jones. What's her name? Rashida Jones driving in the Toyota trucks. And then one of the Jonas Brothers popped up. That one was okay, but it was more about the movie trailers and basically the Doctor Strange one, because I cannot wait for that movie. But it's neither here nor there. But like I said, let me know what you thought about the game, what you thought about the halftime show, and what you thought about the commercials. And are you as sad as I am that the NFL is done? well, just the season, because we know there's going to be news throughout the course of this off season, because we have the draft coming up. That's what, end of April? So that's not too far away. You got USFL. Like I said, I'm going to check that out to see kind of the structure of the league and if the quality of play is there, if it is. But yeah, should thrive. What else do we have? Well, yeah, then we'll have like, who knows, OTAs and all that. Blink, it'll be here in no time. But now that the NFL is done for the most part, of course, when the draft comes up, talk a little more NFL around that time. But between now and then, I'll probably start doing some more basketball topics, number one. Now, this is the time that I kind of get more into college basketball, so I'll probably start talking college basketball on here as well. Well, since baseball's clearly going to be delayed, which I'll probably talk about the whole labor negotiations going on there. We'll use that to fill some time, but yeah, definitely still a lot to talk about. Just you'll probably have some more diverse episodes coming up now, because like I said, football is out of the way for now, but definitely continue to tune in. I will say I will do an episode sometime this week, because I do have to do one about my Celtics. This run that they're on, come to the All-Star break, I got to give you my thoughts on, post-trade deadline, how the team looks, and what I think the turnaround should be attributed to, how great of a job Ime Udoka is doing, Brad Stevens, all that. So I'll do an episode definitely sometime this week about that, and should be fun, especially if you're a Celtics fan. If not, you should still tune in to kind of see where I'm coming from with my team. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Once again, let me know what your thoughts about the Super Bowl and the whole experience. What you like, what you didn't like. And you can do that. Comments below. Leave a review. Go over to Twitter @Chompin' Podcast. Interact with me over there. And let's have some fun with it. So thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Be safe out there. God bless. I'll catch you next episode. All right? I'm out.